I'll try to speak into the mic. But yeah, thanks for coming to the last talk. It's getting pretty late, I guess, for everyone. Everyone wants to go home. But so one more thing. So I'm Raoul Schram, and I'm working with Christine in the research engineering team of Utrecht University. And yeah, I've been basically roped in by Christina to work on this project. Like I was just doing my normal job as a research engineer is normally just like we have a project with some researchers, we write some code for them, we help them. And but Christina was like, oh, I have like this interesting thing, and so she told me like, oh, you want to look at it, maybe improve it a little bit, and well, now I'm basically like a full developer of the iBridges project. So that's how things go with Christina, maybe. Very good at it. So yeah, what is iBridges? So it is another client for connecting to iRoad servers. But we have a very specific core audience, and that also comes with like our background is like as research engineers. So our core audiences are the researchers while they're doing the research. So while they're like they have their initial data, they want to put it in Yoda or some iRoad server. Then maybe they pre-process some of the data, maybe they analyze some of this data, and during this process, we want to facilitate them to easily access the iRoad server. And so these researchers, they don't have really any iRoads experience or like any data management idea whatsoever. Some have some programming experience, some have no programming experience whatsoever. A lot of them are on Windows. I was told to emphasize that, like a lot of them are on Windows, and it's a big problem. If you want to use the I commands, of course, that's a little bit difficult. And most of them lack time. So if you tell them to like read a very long manual, they'll probably just like ignore you. It's my experience. And actually, I was kind of like this kind of researcher as a research engineer. So like I was like, so first Christina told me to try the Python iris client, and I mean now I know it a lot better, of course, after like working on iBridges because it's built on the Python iris client. But yeah, it's a little bit daunting when you first get into it. So our client is basically like it has three components. I would say the core component is the API, and then on top of the API, so the API is basically like a simplified version of the Python iWords client. And then on top of this API, we built like a command line interface, which is, I mean, it's not very big. It's maybe like 200 lines of code or something. And then Christine also built the GUI on it. And I think before iBridges, it was like just the one project, but now the GUI is like separated into its own repository. And so we have functionality for downloading, uploading, synchronizing, metadata, rules, and tickets. I think for most researchers, the first three will be the most important. They'll just want to download things, upload things, and that they can also understand because in their like normal file system life, that's also what they do. It works on Linux, macOS, Windows. I put here like two links to the GitHub repositories. Of course, there's a lot more documentation available. I won't go into that. And if you want to get in contact with us, please do, because we're like almost getting close to 1.0. So we're really looking for feedback and people really to try it out. For difficult questions, ask Christina, I guess. And then, no, I just, the programming questions maybe a little bit more for me. And then I don't remember what time I started, but I have like 4 minutes or something, maybe 3 minutes. Oh, okay. Okay, then this is just a normal console, and I installed the iBridges command line, the command line interface plus the API. So the first thing what you would do with iBridges is just iBridges init, and basically what this does, I mean I have some spaces here, unfortunately, is that it loads your iRids environment JSON and it checks whether it's correct, and then it caches your password. So after my password's already cached, so I don't want to like live fill in all my passwords. So that's why it will like you will not be prompted for your password until like your cache password expires, for example. So let's see what is actually. So one thing that we have done is that we have like this. We have the iRoads home directory. And this is used a lot in the iBridges command. So for example, if I do iBridges list, it's basically implicitly saying iBridges list your home directory. And you can see here, there's some files in there. Data objects, sorry. And then there's some collection. I'm still struggling a little bit with that. I mean, it's only been half a year. I'm really trying. So this is one of the examples. And so let's see, let's download, for example, like the demo data. So then we do iBridges download iRods demo, and that is one thing that is all in the command line interface. If you want to say to signify something on the iRods server, you just preface it with iRods double dot, and then it demo is like a relative path to the iRods home directory. So that's so let's try this, and then it will download this. Actually, I was going to do something else, so let me remove it again. Because actually I think it's pretty nice that we can use a dry run. And this actually has been implemented like 2 days ago for the download. So it's like, it's all, we're really hard working on it currently. And if you do this, then you can really see like what is going to happen if you execute this command. And this is very helpful. So for example, here you can see like, hey, it's going to make two directories actually on 2 levels. And these are all the files that are going to be downloaded. So let's just download again, and then we have so we have like some nice progress bars, but I mean, you know, that's just good. And then I could, for example, let's try, for example, also to upload, because that's also one of the commands that we have implemented. So let's do iRoads to the same directory, and then we just say dry run. And unfortunately, it says that the file or the directory already exists. So that's also one of the design principles that we're trying to work with iBridges, is to make it as safe as possible for researchers. We want researchers to have at least possible chance of overwriting the data that they don't want to be overwritten, deleting data, etc. So that's also one of the reasons why we don't have in the command line interface, we don't have a remove command currently, but in the API you can do it, but that's, I mean, yeah, that's the reason why we have it. But if we can still do this if we do overwrite. So if you say like, hey, I really want to overwrite this, then do it. But actually you can see not really anything has happened. And the reason is that it checked the checksums of both the local files and the remote files, and it said like, hey, they're all the same, but what's the point of me transferring all this data? I think maybe now it's good to just have like some questions. This is basically
actually time's up.
Oh, great.
But I guess we can have one question. One in the back.
Hi. So what does the iBridges add to, the existing tool that we saw yesterday, the Go commands and the Go, iRoads library? Because also that is portable to different platforms. You can build a graphical user interface on that library. So what was the need of developing this?
I will have to refer to Christina for the difficult questions, as I said. So, yeah, I don't really know the Go commands myself. So I'm.
Okay, so we started actually out with making it easy for scientific programmers to integrate interaction with iRods data into their Python or R workflows. So this is how this API came to being. And it is really a funnel on top of the Python iRods client, just exposing that what researchers need, not all the other stuff like, well, we do a bit of rules to be compatible with other things, but not really. And then some people came and said, yeah, but I don't want to write Python scripts. I just want to upload and download. And so then Raoul wrote this nice client. And the biggest reason why, well, actually the command line interface was just a nice giveaway. The bigger part is really the graphical user interface, where basically the whole API that we have is exposed through buttons to non-programming users. And that also includes then metadata and ACLs and everything. And last time I checked the Go commands, I'm not sure how far they have progressed. Last time I checked the Go commands, they were just mainly for main upload and download.
All right, thank you. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up the conference.